Hey, y'all, and welcome back to the AudaSEWtea Podcast. I am one of your hosts. Chad, I don't know
The
where I'm
hostess
at.
with the mostest.
I, I barely got 15 cents in my name. No, that ain't the truth. God provides, and all things are provided in decency and in order, so we don't claim that. But yes, um, if y'all see me out here on the corner hustling whore, don't ask no questions. Wearing a
Dude,
bad
what is going
wig.
on with the economy today, though? Because
Look.
I feel like this is like so many of us, right? As we're
I'm ready
preparing
to
for
pussy pop in a
hurricane,
headstand for a two-piece and a biscuit.
I need like a family meal for mine. You know what I'm saying?
You might have to do more than a pussy pop in a headstand
I
for
don't
that.
know. I feel like I got somewhere in the backyard that could, help justify it.
See, look,
I'm just saying.
just rev the engine and it keep on. You just start it up and let it roll.
Just let it roll. I could just walk and it just be doing its own thing. You know what I'm
See,
saying?
see. Meanwhile, I'm over here going to have to do stunts and shows to get a tic tac.
To get a TikTok, I can't with you. Speaking of TikTok, and not actually TikTok, but definitely TikTok, I ordered this new lip gloss off of TikTok shop. It's supposed to be like
Hmm.
that Korean lip oil, and I love it.
Really?
I do.
Come on.
And I bought it with
Um,
my own monies.
see, and that's how you know it's real. That's how
That's
you
how
know
you
it's
know it's
real.
real.
When we are ordering stuff with our own money,
Hmm.
y'all best be paying attention. But y'all
That
again,
part.
I'm Julian of Julian Creates because we just start talking.
We
Who
definitely
am I
did.
talking to?
This is Aaronica from Needle in the Bell. Um, And it's funny because like I feel like we just picked up where we left off with our earlier conversation. Because one thing
We
about Julian
did.
and I, we gonna give you conversation. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? There's not gonna be too much dead air, not too many echoes in our background because we gonna be a kiki and excited to chat.
We are. And usually, and I mean, I think we have explained it to people before, but when we come on, we are coming on warm. So
Yeah.
we basically decide to like, okay, let's shut up for for a few seconds so that we
Right.
can then do an intro. Because we've been talking for about 15 minutes, if not
Yeah.
more, before we actually like, oh, we're supposed to be recording.
We're supposed to be recording.
Hmm.
I like
Yes.
that coming in warm because that's exactly what it is.
Hmm. It really
Coming
is.
in warm.
And y'all, again, sometimes y'all hear it, sometimes y'all don't, but I am sewing today. Am, I mean, this is a fun experience. So th this will be my first fashion show that I'm in. Like with pieces that I've made, for an event here in Cincinnati, Ohio called Blink next weekend. It is a light festival, so it covers most of our downtown area, um, and Northern Kentucky with large scale light exhibitions. So
Oh man, that is so exciting. I can't wait to see
imagine
your photos and stuff from there.
it's this is about to be something. So I am the place I'm doing it. There's like a house exhibit, so
Hmm.
all made out of lights and LEDs and stuff like that, with the fashion show in it. Me and some people that I know, one of my friends who is kind of this is her concept, asked me to be part of it. Super grateful, but again, it's next week. So luckily, most of my stuff, like the main piece and stuff like that is from Stash. So
Hmm.
literally going through my stash for fabric and stuff like that. And the fact that I have the fabrics that I have
In the stash,
in
on
Stash
hand.
on hand, crazy, ain't
Listen, Joanne too.
it? I mean, look, and the
We
most
going
of
to Julian's.
it, most of it is dead stock from Fabric Mart. So the one piece,
Mm,
the t-shirt fabric I did purchase, but I was like, oh,
okay.
I just had to get it because it was $4 a yard.
$4 is bananas because, and I need for you guys to understand this, that the t-shirt fabric is not just like, it's not just like a cotton lycra. It's not just like a double brush polyester that is just like plain. Like the
No.
t-shirt is giving shine, shimmer, and everything excellent.
Yes, with the jacket being a metallic coated denim. It's a lot. This is a lot of
Man.
this is a
Those
lot of
lights
money.
are going to be reflecting off of you. I think it's so cool because you went with silver. And
Hmm.
so of course, with silver, it can really absorb other colors. So
Right.
people are not even gonna know what color you're wearing.
I know. And that's why in the zippers and stuff, that's why they are rainbow. Because it
It's
looks
gonna
like
be
it will
so
look like a
fantastic.
reflection. Look like
Yeah.
like refraction. Yeah, I have not been this is almost without the same nervousness that I get when I do frock tails, but it's kind of like that same feeling. Just that
Yeah.
excitement for something different, something new. This is a good project to sink my teeth into.
That's very, very exciting.
Mhm.
And it's funny because, of course, Lindsay from the Stitch Fits, she has started showing and putting together fashion designs and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
she's doing a fantastic job. And when she did her first showing of her first line this year, I was like,
Hmm.
this is the confirmation that I needed to go ahead and get my mind ready or start to get my mind ready to debut a line here in Atlanta. And then now you're doing it. And I'm just like, yeah, this is, just giving me the confirmation that I need. In Atlanta, we had the Sustainable Fashion Week, but we had it like during the time that Hurricane Helene was trying to swing on by.
Well, Jesus. And
And I was,
we are
yeah,
recording this as Milton
Milton,
is about to make landfall. And here's my thing. Here's my
messy
thing.
Milton.
I need y'all to understand that when they name a hurricane after a black person, y'all need to leave.
Mm-mm.
Because how many white people y'all know named Milton?
I can't with you. I'm not
That
claiming that
is,
name.
I know black people named Milton. That black person,
Mm-mm.
he smoked Newports. He drinking Wild Irish Rose while
Oh
eating
my
Smith
gosh,
Pinky.
I can't.
He is still grieving over Frankie Beverly because he had his white two-piece and he good on that grill. Like that's a Milton that I know. He about
Hmm.
75
Yeah, that sounds approved. I feel like I can smell him now that you've described him.
because he is wearing Aqua di Gio. He is
Hmm.
wearing something Giorgio Armani, the gold package, the gold thing, or
Yeah.
or he's still holding on to Jupe or something.
Oh my
Um,
God, not Jupe. Not Jupe. Oh my goodness.
but I need y'all to understand, y'all need to stop playing with these ninjas
But and here's the thing, and I
because
feel
he
like
got
we
50,
touched
11
on, of
kids and don't
course,
claim none of them.
but like we touched, of course, on this in the beginning about the finances, right?
Hmm.
And I was actually talking to someone about this, and they were like, the reason why we don't evacuate is because we cannot
Afford
afford to
it.
just up and
Oh,
leave.
I get it.
And
I get it.
I'm like, oh,
That's
like I feel
that's a
like when we
privilege.
aren't in there, we talk about, oh, well, if you need to evacuate, you can come here. And it's like, okay, but what about gas? What about all the stuff they're losing
Mhm.
and everything like that? And then I was watching a reel today that was talking about how, most Americans are living check to check, so they can't afford, they
Yes.
don't even have like they can't afford a $500, emergency, let
Right.
alone, having to evacuate. And I feel like that, like, all of these facts, in addition to the fact that for so long, people denied climate change and reporters and scientists are confirming that the reason why that these hurricanes are turning from category ones into category fives so quickly has to do with the way that the heat of the ocean is, right?
Yes.
Because it's so warm.
Yes.
And if global warming was not a thing, if climate change was not a thing, then we wouldn't be experiencing these catastrophic hurricanes, whereas we could just be doing tropical storms. And tropical storms can definitely be really destructive as well,
Damaging.
but not
Yeah.
nearly as destructive as these level fives.
I mean, but in the fact that we saw a hurricane, we saw Helene go
Hmm.
from Florida and travel up. Like
Yeah.
it hit Ohio, like not at
Hmm.
hurricane level, but we still had like 60-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah.
Um, that's not normal.
Mm-mm.
And that like literally as they're talking about like looking at things like it could be where like the coasts are gone and literally you
Yeah.
have inwards during like that's crazy. But then you got people like Marjorie Taylor dumb shit who up here talking about it's the government. I mean, I'm sorry, but either way it goes, yes, even if they can see clouds and do whatever, they've been able to do that for years. That ain't
Right.
nothing. But they ain't Svengali with the weather. And if they are, you government, so you should know.
Yeah. So, speaking of that, if you are in the path of the hurricanes, please
We
make
pray.
sure that you are inventorying your home, that you have taken
Yes.
photos, videos of everything that you have in your house, valuables, and that at the bare minimum that you're putting receipts for expensive items like your sewing machines, things like that, into, some Ziploc bags to help prevent them from becoming ruined as well. So that way you can try to, at least at the bare minimum, get some semblance of financial restoration, even though, and I don't know if this has been really talked about, but the Republicans in Florida voted against FEMA funding,
They did.
which is going to, of course, be a big issue as Florida
Cle-
is beginning
Cleaning up.
to, yeah, clean up from,
Hmm.
of course, Helene and now have to clean up from Milton.
And again, we're just into. There's still more left of
Right. We at
hurricane
the
season.
we at the start of the season.
Correct. Correct. Hmm.
We in the season like 2 weeks.
Right. And it
I think
said
that's
like
it's crazy that we're 2 weeks in and we're already on our second big hurricane.
right. And if I remember correctly, like they were looking at models. This was just one of them. There was another one right behind this one. I don't
Right.
know if it's coming on the same path, but there's still like at least one more coming that they have seen in models. So again, not only that, but also unplug your stuff. Make sure because
Yeah.
as power comes back on, if you lose power, a surge. So if you even if you like
Hmm.
or dry, that surge can mess things up. If you have an electric car, please make sure it's unplugged. Please make sure it's unplugged. We're seeing
Have
a
you
lot
seen the people wrapping their cars
in
in,
plastic,
yeah.
and tarps. I'm like,
Yep.
I'm like, okay, go ahead, go ahead and
I
put it in
saw
right
someone
there.
do it with like a brand new, I think it was a brand new
Corvette.
Corvette.
I
And they
saw
were
that
like, yeah,
today.
we're gonna see that like floating around. And I really hope that we don't. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because
No, that's not what we want. But also, I saw somebody who was in Asheville or in Tennessee. He had a Rivian. I did not realize that they were like hermetically sealed. So it was caked in mud and everything like that because it was at the U-Haul site where everything got trashed at U-Haul.
yeah,
He thought that his car was going to be totaled. It was caked in mud and everything, like fully caked in mud. He got so close to the car, everything worked.
their car was like, oh, so happy to see you. Thank you so much for coming to get me. Let's go home now.
And literally with no water inside.
Wow.
No water inside. Like I was like, oh, this is the ad for Rivian right there. This is the
Yeah.
ad for it. Now, do I got Rivian money? No,
No.
but it's an ad for Rivian. I was like,
Mm.
okay,
Speaking
that was
of
that to me.
cars, did you hear that people or insurance companies are no longer insuring those Tesla trucks?
They stopped doing that a while ago. So here's the thing, and honestly, I'm surprised they haven't done it with Rivian either. So
Mm.
Rivian is like the electronics and stuff like that. Sometimes they can all glitch
Yeah.
and everything can break on you.
Yes.
But the way that it is built, let's say that you have a fender bender in the back of your car and it
Hmm.
hits you like in that quarter, the wing or something like that near the back. It's skinned, meaning that you basically have to take off the whole entire skin of the car to replace it if there's a dent.
What?
So a
We
small
wouldn't be
dent
replacing it.
could be $27,000 to replace.
Absolutely not. I would be skinless. My
Chat,
car would be skinless.
we just gonna look dented up, banged up, dimpled.
We're gonna call it minimalist, you know? Because we just be naming shit minimalist versus maximalist all the time.
Or
So
I'm
I
just
feel
gonna
like
it's
it can apply
grunge.
here.
We're gonna call it grunge. It's gonna look
Mm.
worn. It's gonna look
It's
it's
gonna
gonna be very
look
shabby
worn.
chic. Shabby chic.
It's given pre-driven.
And we're gonna get some of that pre-crackle paint and we're gonna put a little crackle on it, some crackle. We'll make it
Yeah,
look pretty. We'll make it look pretty with the
we gonna
little
make it
ding.
look good. We gonna make it look good. Fire,
But
fire,
yes,
fire.
but also like yeah, that like the fact that the Cybertruck from like people are saying like within days is bricked. and having to
Hmm.
get new things replaced. The fact that they had to get these new shields because they were not glued on, it was sticking to the gas of the brake pedal. They had to like bolt it in. The fact that around the edges it started rusting right out of the lot. The fact that
Absolutely not.
if like, do you understand how much it costs to replace your windshield wiper? Because it's the largest windshield wiper ever.
Do you know how mad I would be if I pay, I don't even know how much they are, but if I paid that much and a week later I had to replace something or if I had to glue something in? Listen, let me tell you something. Even if I had the money, that is not how I would spend it.
No, well, but then also, why would I spend it with Elon Musk?
That part.
Why, like literally, even though I have friends, I finally rode in the Tesla not so long ago. I was like, oh, okay, this is cute. But again, I'm not. I've heard too many things about the factory of Elon Musk about, and
Yeah.
then he's losing his mind every day on
Every
his little
day.
platforms. No, I'm
Every
good.
day.
I'm good. Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Yeah. I definitely believe in making sure that I make wise financial decisions when it comes to my money,
Right.
which brings us to today's update.
Mm.
So a
Yeah.
couple of weeks ago, I did mention about how I had made my purchase with Nerida Hansen and I had bought the fabrics and that, she was on social media talking about how she was, packing the orders and stuff like this. So
Hmm.
here is another update because, and I shared this in my Instagram stories, but she blocked me and she sent me a nasty email, saying that let me pull up this email because let me read this. I don't want it to be like here.
Because how her little feelings were hurt. I'm like, girl,
Yeah.
you
So on
best be
September
glad you're across the
22nd,
world.
okay. She sends me an email saying, "Hello, Aaronica. Even though your delivery time frame is only hitting now, I saw that you made very nasty comment on social media. I'm not interested in pursuing that, but if you would like a refund, I'm happy to provide it. Otherwise, your delivery will be shipped in the next couple of weeks, as are all orders." It is now like 2 or 3 weeks later. I still don't have a shipping notification.
See,
And I have never said anything nasty. On her post, I said I was asking for delivery updates, and people were talking about how they hadn't gotten their deliveries since 2022. And so I said, oh, well, that makes me feel like I'm never going to get my fabric now. And then after she said and put another post up, I was like, and of course, we are Bernina brand ambassadors, which means that in everything that we do, we still represent Bernina. She is a Bernina brand ambassador for Australia. And I'm just like, I feel like Bernina Australia would not be okay with the fact that you are effectively robbing people. And we will be talking about this on the podcast, which of course we did because I don't make threats, I keep promises. And, but again, I didn't say anything nasty. You know what I'm saying?
no,
And I don't actually think that I was nasty on the podcast when I brought it up last time, because
no,
of the truth of the matter is that it is factual that she has not paid her artists and that her artists are still waiting for their payments. It's factual that she is behind on all of her deliveries and that it's not just me who's asking for their order, follow up, etc. And it's also factual that she's out here bragging about how much her business has grown on the backs of those of us who have made these purchases expecting to receive fabric within 4 to 6 weeks because it's a pre-order and we still have not received it. If I was within my time frame, then I would have received my fabric in July. We are now in October, and this is bad business.
right,
So,
absolutely.
I have put in my PayPal dispute. We'll see how it goes. It better come back in my favor because I did include the email from her that said, if you would like a refund, you can have it. And so that is my update on that. However, I will say that I am going to do a deep dive into her business. And I do plan on recording this for YouTube, not to, of course, drag her through the mud, but because I'd like to pinpoint when things went sour and started going south for her, what happened, and even document how she plans on cleaning it up because I'm very interested in this. Even if I did not make a purchase, but the reason why I was even attracted to her website to make a purchase is because I wanted to support Katie Courtman, who is a friend of mine. And I love
Right.
her aesthetic. Like, I like the bright colors. I love what she's doing. And I also really liked a lot of the other artists. And I was excited about the fabric. And I know that it's not just me. So,
Hmm.
as we are makers in a community that really enables us to be able to kind of do whatever we want to do, I do feel like highlighting highlighting business practices is something that is important, right? Especially because a lot of fabric companies will say things like, oh, well, I'll send you fabric in exchange for um, you making something and posting about it. And I'm just like, I think that as influencers and as people who sew and make clothing, we actually have to be a little bit more intentional about who we support and who we give exposure to on our feeds because
Absolutely.
there's no reason why her business should be growing and she should be getting new customers when she has not taken care of her old customers.
Look, look, look. And literally, our community is too small.
It is way too small, way too small. And also,
And
like,
we
we
talk.
order fabric, and I'm not that person who orders fabric and is like, oh, I immediately know what I'm about to do with this. No, I buy fabric because it makes me feel a certain way, right?
Right.
And I can imagine how I will feel while I'm wearing it. That is
Yes.
what makes me purchase the fabric.
Mhm.
So no, I did not have specific plans for this, but like I bought all these bright ass colors, Julian. I definitely plan on making some summery stuff with it.
And clearly, that's not an option.
Not an option as we are now in fall.
Right. Just like basically like it's like your mom make your booty shine. That's what you
Yeah.
did.
And
That
like
is
I
what
said
you
last
did.
week, in Australia, they think of as a scammer, support her, and they do not buy her fabrics. And so I'm just like, well, damn, I definitely looked at all of my friends who are Australian, like, why didn't you guys tell me? I mean, you couldn't have because it's not like I published that
Right.
I had like bought this stuff, but
Right.
anyway. And of course, that actually feeds into my style segment because talking about colors, I know that we are in fall, and I know that a lot of times we change our color palette to reflect a more earthy tone, especially if you
Hmm.
are into that sort of thing, having your capsule wardrobe. So, one of the things that I really want to make sure that we do as people is not be out here excessively purchasing things that we do not need. If you have been into bright, summery colors in the summer, it's absolutely fine to take that into fall. And it's absolutely
Hmm.
okay to pair that with fall colors to extend the length of your summer wardrobe on into fall, as well as reintroduce pieces from last fall into your current wardrobe. I feel like overconsumption is a huge thing, as I'm mad about fabric when I did not necessarily need it, which
I
is why I
mean,
filed for my
l-
refund.
says the person who I mean, I got a whole bunch of sewing machines and whatnot. I mean,
Right. But I
we know
also feel like you have a bunch of high quality sewing machines, right? A lot of these machines that you have, like in the event that they do make it to a landfill, they're out here landfilling, right?
well, yeah.
They are going to survive. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? The zombie apocalypse to the end of the world, they're going to be surviving because they are
this is
made from
true.
high quality materials, right?
This is
Whereas a
true.
lot of time, a lot of the things that are fast fashion are going to help to make the world a worse place. Which, by the
Absolutely.
way, it's funny because I was talking about this with my daughter's old teacher. And I liked the little shirt she had on. She was like, "Oh, it's from Shein." I was like, "Oh, girl, like you gotta stop supporting fast fashion." She's like, I gotta buy clothes that I can afford." And I'm
Hmm.
like, I feel that. I also want to use this time to encourage you all to go out to your local thrift stores to really use your thrift stores as well as the ability to upcycle things to help fulfill your fall wardrobe. There are so many things that are out there, so many ways you can remake. I think that I bought all of my holiday sweaters and stuff like that from the thrift store, and I cannot
Hmm.
wait to bring them out again this holiday season because I had so much fun thrifting them. Um, and honestly, with how my kids grow, I do feel like it's only right for me to buy higher quality pieces for myself that last longer. So that
Right.
way, as I'm having to buy them new clothes because their sizes are changing, and honestly, the younger two, they're really rough on their clothes, then I don't feel so bad about it. Like, I actually have a pair of my husband's old jeans that he's like ripped in too many pieces. And I'm like, oh, excellent. I'm going to turn these into like jeans for, Bo.
Right.
Um, so yeah,
But
that is
also, I think, especially because, sometimes places such as Goodwill and stuff like that, though I do buy a lot of machines from them, they not have the best practices all the time.
mm-hmm.
Um, and literally, so sadly, there is another like line of business, even not fast fashion, but fast fashion-ish, even
Mm-hmm.
in terms of practices, with a
Yeah.
lot of like the thrift industry. So that is terrific.
Hmm.
One of the things that I like to do is there are closeout stores. So here in Cincinnati, there's one called Fashion
Ooh.
Wholesale Direct. Yeah, no, yeah. Is it Fashion Wholesale Direct or Fashion Wholesale Warehouse? Something like that.
I feel like
Um,
you're confusing fabric wholesale direct.
yes, I am. I am. But it's fabric. Yes, fashion wholesale. Where? I don't know.
It's fine.
Fashion.
We're following with you.
There is a wholesale place or a place that is really like the closeout. So this is the stuff that was in store that went on clearance that did not sell and was
Hmm.
like zeroed out of the main store system that then
Yeah,
goes here before it goes to like a landfill or before it goes to a thrift store as like a
that's
closeout.
cool.
So I will buy from there. So as my sizing has changed, I get a lot of my clothes from there. So if
Now I'm
y'all
over
saw
here
me,
like, I wonder if they got one here. A
mhm,
closeout store?
looking for those closeout stores. So I know like there is like a Target closeout store. I want to say in Atlanta.
I think it's
Um,
in it's I feel like it's closer to Macon.
okay. Well, I mean,
I'm about to look it up though.
every place is gonna be over an hour to get there anyway down there.
You're right.
Anywho, but it is like I've been able to. That is one of the places that I go. I don't buy um a lot of like brand new things. I will
Hmm.
go to those type of places first, before before I shop. So
Yeah, which is very
so that
smart. I love that.
and so yeah, that is what I do.
Oh wow, there's a
And
bunch of them. Okay.
yeah, and it has really like helped and stuff like that. And even I posted myself in a suit some weeks ago. It was a navy suit. That's where I got it from. I got it from one of these type of
What?
places.
Because you
It
are
was
wearing that suit, sir.
from Express. It was $50 for both pieces.
Wow.
Hmm.
Wow.
So there are ways, and especially if you have kids and stuff like that, I know as much as I will shop thrift and stuff like that for hard items, housewares,
Hmm.
Pyrex, appliances, sewing machines. I am I admit to myself I am really weird about buying clothes from thrift stores.
Hmm.
It's something about it. As one of my friends said back in the day, like, those got spirits. And I have not been like that is the best way to say how I
Hmm.
feel about it. Even if you wash it. I'm like, ain't too often I
Hmm.
can wear it
Hmm.
unless I know it's new. Um, or unless like, it must be something I really wanted. Yeah, but I don't do it often. And I will buy antique other things, but not clothes, usually. Even fabric I will buy. But if it got a smell, I'm like, I can't do shit with this. Um,
No, that feels very relatable to me.
and that's just, that is my thing. So yeah.
You know what I feel the most about that is shoes. Like I remember
Yeah.
my mom telling me you should never wear another person's shoes because then you'll walk in their footsteps. And I was like, ooh, I don't want
Hmm.
that.
Same way I
Unless,
feel
of course,
about
it's a
clothes.
millionaire. Like, go ahead, let me get them shoes. But then it's like you don't know what everything that they went through. So, like, do you want to walk in those shoes? You know?
That part. I mean, there are certain like I've been looking for because I'll be honest, and this is not politically correct, and my vegan friends don't hate me. I want a mink coat.
Mm-hmm.
We don't buy new mink. We don't. That's just stupid.
Mm-mm.
We buy used. We buy thrifted
Mm-hmm.
mink. Because honestly, probably I want to get a few minks to make something else out of it with. Um, and I do like I have bought mink stuff from like shopgoodwill.com. I have a mink teddy bear
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. I
Okay.
would do those type of things. That's to me again different than actually
Yeah.
like wearing clothes. So there are certain things I will do. If it is a Birkin, if it is like very
Well, yeah,
high cost
definitely.
bags, high cost bags, I might do those. But yeah, like regular degulas, nope. But like,
Mm.
and it's funny, like my mom, my aunts and stuff like that, they love it. I'm like, mm-mm, mm-mm,
You're gonna have
mm-mm.
to pass, right?
I can't do it. I can't do it. It's not my, it's just, no, 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 can't do
Yeah.
it. That's the
But
thing.
also, I feel like that's also that reminder of that when you are buying used things, and
Hmm.
even if Shein and stuff like that are up there, which
Hmm.
BTW, like I'm still laughing about how Shein is trying to sue Temu over replicating their styles because like what that would be
When
like Nomi going after Mood.
I mean, look. I, oh, yeah. Mm.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail us that way.
Right, you
But
did. You did. Took us right off the
yeah,
cliff. But yes, it is. I mean, it is capitalism at its finest, you
it
know?
is. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's funny. It again, it was interesting is even from a historical perspective, we think of like these thrift stores and stuff like that as a common or a new thing when it's not at all.
Not.
You
Mm-mm.
can look back in history, and a lot of times the reason that we do not have a lot of clothes from history, unless they were really rich, and usually they were really small, is because a lot of times if it had a lot of fabric, it could be made into other things. As
Yeah.
styles change, the fabric was used because the fabric was the commodity. That was the
Mm.
expensive thing. So the reason, like, think about it.
Fabric is a commodity.
Well,
I'm
it is.
rich, bitch.
I mean, look, yeah, it can't buy shit with it yet. But
Not
anywho, I
yet.
got a whole bunch
Soon.
of it. But
Soon.
think about it. Elizabeth the First,
Hmm.
who was the Queen of England or after her daddy, had over in at the time of her death in her registry, and a lot of times there were these cloth registries and stuff like that. That's how we know about their life and what they had
I
over
need a
2,000
cloth
dresses.
registry.
Look, you had a keeper of the closet.
A
She
keeper.
literally,
Yeah.
so literally there was a building just with her wardrobe.
Wow.
And so that helped with the laundering, with the safety, with the upkeep. But then also too, just the same way that we like today don't like to be seen in something once it's photographed, the same way that she was, okay?
She was
Because
like, oh, they painted me in
but
it.
it was a power and a position thing. And understand
Yeah.
when you sumptuary laws, there were certain fabrics that only she could wear.
Wow.
So cloth of gold and stuff like that, only she could wear, where other people could not. Not only because they could not afford it, because even if a merchant was able to have the money to afford it,
Hmm.
if they did not have the status, they could not wear it. It was
They couldn't
against
wear
the
it.
law. But literally, of her closet, over 2,000 dresses, only a small piece survives that they just found because it was given by her head lady's maid or ladies in waiting to a church. And it was turned into an altar cloth. It's the Bacton altar cloth. That
Wow.
later figured out that it was part of a dress that they have images like a portrait of her wearing.
Man,
And
that
it's a
is
small panel.
so wild.
That's it. That's the
That
only
is
piece
so
that
wild.
survives. That and above her casket, originally there was an effigy of her. So meaning that there was a like a full wax figure over her casket, dressed in her
Hmm.
clothes. The only thing that survives of that is the corset. That's it. But that corset,
Mm.
though probably was never worn by her, it is the like the only piece of that time frame of her like that we know of her clothing. So very
Mm.
interesting little tidbit of information as
I
we
tell
know
you what,
I
Julian is
love my
gonna always
history.
come through with these tidbits of information because what?
But can we talk about history being made right now?
Let's get into it right
Because
now.
y'all, as if you've been following me online, I've been sharing like gratitude this month. And the thing that made me grateful today was the announcement or like the announcing of the co-chairs of the Met Gala for 2025 and the theme of the exhibition.
Hmm.
Y'all, y'all, when I tell you my heart just leapt with joy to know that all the co-hosts and the honorary chair, all the co-chairs and honorary chair are all Black men. And that the
So
theme
excited.
of
I
the
feel like we need to have a pause for the cause because like that is so big.
it's so big of that, but then it's also so big that this is the first time in a long time that they have done a whole exhibition on men's fashion.
Yeah.
But then you also have then you add on just to give people an understanding the reason why this is so big. So the exhibit coming to the Met in May of 2025 is called
Hmm.
Superfine, Tailoring Black Style, and it will examine the historical cultural emergence of the Black dandy. This is coming off of a book by Monica Miller. This book came out in 2009 called Slaves to Fashion, Black Dandyism and the Styling of Black Diasporic Identity,
Hmm.
going back to the 18th century, looking at how Black fashion, especially Black men, have
Hmm.
dressed themselves and have communicated with their style and fashion.
Hmm.
Um,
I
how,
know
oh,
that
child.
not just, of course, the Black sewists and designers, but like the
Mhm.
Black men who are into style and fashion. I know that this is so big for this community. And man, wow.
This is like when this is so big, like this is just big, just huge.
Yeah.
And the representation here, knowing that next to the main curator of the Met is a Black woman helping to put this exhibit on.
Very dope. Very
You
dope.
know what I'm saying? So
Um,
and the
yeah.
fact that you then also have like you have Coleman Domingo, you have Lewis Hamilton, you have ASAP Rocky, you have Pharrell Williams,
Hmm.
and LeBron James acting as the honorary chair with
Yeah.
Anna Wintour. Now I wonder how that's gonna work in those spaces in them rooms.
I know.
But
I'm so interested.
mhm,
I am one of the things that I really love, and I'm a huge Rihanna fan. Like
mhm.
I just love Rihanna. I think she's dope. But you know what's funny is that if someone would have told me that ASAP Rocky was going to be someone who was like this huge person in fashion and style, I would have been like, probably not. But
Come again, right?
he is really out here doing it, and I'm really loving his aesthetic. It's giving like, I don't know, like grunge opulence. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, absolutely. And like it's just there's such an opportunity to bring back a resurgence of Black men's fashion. Of like
Mm-hmm.
there was, I think it is common knowledge in history, especially as this whole discourse about hygiene and people washing legs and taking baths every day and all this other stuff. We ain't I ain't going there. Coming around, but clothing and style has always been part of our language. Um,
Yes.
from especially going out into the world, you have to look a certain way.
Yeah.
Um, I remember like the there is an art that the Black people learned how to iron. There's an art to it, to get them like if you know an old
Which, of
Black man,
course, is the reason why I do not like to iron because if it's not perfect,
look,
I don't want it. And
look,
I don't want to sit down and take the time
in them
to do it.
creases, better be
Speaking of
right.
ironing, did you see Alexander the Tailor out there pressing with that? What is it? He had a vacuum, something or other, a
Had a
vacuum
vacuum
mat or
board.
something. Yeah.
Well, I got that
I was
too.
like, I don't like to iron, but
You, I
I
got a
might could
vacuum.
iron with that.
I mean, I have a vacuum board or two, so there's that.
I'm gonna just come home with one when I leave from Cincinnati.
I, how are you planning to move an ironing board that weighs about 70 pounds? I don't know.
Me neither.
That also heats up. I mean, the fact that it heats from the bottom as well as it can vacuum down. I don't use the vacuum as much. I love the heat.
I'm
So
just
imagine,
so amazed that we have this vacuum down because I feel like that is a game changer.
well, I mean, the Lord Star does that too. It vacuums down and also pushes up. So if you are doing something light like chiffon, it can blow air up into it so that you can then steam it and steam it. Hmm. Hmm.
It's like a whole new world. I'm over here feeling like Princess Jasmine.
I mean, look, it's there. Um, but just the there is so much like the opportunity here is
Hmm.
so vast to lead to a resurgence of men's fashion.
Yeah.
And there's already been a resurgence of that Black dandyism. I have really been and I've admired it and been stepping my toes into it, but I'm like, oh no, we're really about to just go there. I mean, even
Yeah.
in my suit making and stuff like that, those are all elements of that dandyism.
Hmm.
Um, but I'm like, oh, I'm about to have fun with this. But then also too, like this really helps embody the inspiration that I have for my look for Atlanta Frocktails next year.
Ooh,
Because the way that I saw it, especially thinking of dandyism, I really wanted to make a court suit, like a 18th century court suit, but also bringing in Label Mania and Dapper Dan. So
mm,
mixing those time frames, like from the
yeah.
top of the dandyism, starting with the black fops, which were really like we start seeing this. And I started listening to lectures today, y'all, because I was like, oh, I'm excited, and I have this book and I need to read it. Um, talking about how literally, especially for some of the well-to-do in Europe, when slavery was still a thing in Europe, they would
Hmm.
have slaves that were just there as confidants. They actually did not do any manual labor. If you were really a person of high class and stuff like that, you would have them almost like as your confidant.
Wow.
They would be dressed in finery and everything like that, and basically could run around society, but were still owned. And so
Wow.
there was this one slave, and I think his name was Julius, honestly. And there's images of him how he was dressed in these very tight white pants and the loud exaggerated coats and stuff like that. He was sent to Calcutta because they felt that he got too big for his britches.
They were like, mm-mm, sir, not in these white pants and this loud ass
Wait a
jacket. No,
minute, wait a
no.
minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. But also not doing all of this in white society, not doing all of this where you got your own carriage driven by a white footman.
That man said, you, you right here, you go
So
ahead and drive my carriage.
So if you actually like they were talking about that, if you really I would suggest people who are interested in this, there are a lot of lectures and stuff on Black Dandyism on
Hmm.
YouTube for free. Let me look up the one I started and I hope to finish here soon. Um because me and my YouTube, we be doing a lot. It is by NAC. So it is by the National Arts Club, Black Dandyism and the Styling of Black Diasporic Identity. And then the Dykeman Farmhouse Museum also has one called Fashion, Race, Identity, and Power Black Dandy Beginnings by Monica Miller.
We will make sure that we include these links along with our show notes so that you guys can go ahead and make sure that you check this out as well because it's definitely something that is going to be really interesting as far as taking a look at this style. Like in my opinion, when I see like Black dandyism, it's literally synonymous in my head with like the Black boy joy. It's so much joyful dressing.
Mhm.
Um, that I do feel like this is definitely something that we should all be taking a look at. And I'm actually interested in seeing how a lot of the Black dandyism can even be adopted into, and I'm interested to see how it's going to be adopted into women's styles who show up.
Oh, I think I can see
Like
this
when
like
I say that I want to do like very much so like male, and I say male
mhm,
very loosely, male inspired like women's clothing, I think
mhm.
of Black dandyism.
So you think of beautiful colored suits, like I can see a
Yes.
beautiful like Kelly green with
A
orange.
well-tailored waistcoat. Yes.
Exactly, exactly. So, and I think that those options are there, and I really do think that that will show up. I can,
Hmm.
if this is the opportunity for Tom Brown, if you know of current designers, Tom Brown is an American designer who is very much into tailoring and menswear. If
Hmm.
they don't go ham on this, the problem is it will all be in black and gray. That is not always the same aesthetic. But
Hmm.
it is a very classic aesthetic. If they don't go ham the way they can, just with classic tailoring, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm the same with this is a chance for Alexander McQueen to really lean into their tailoring. Like
Hmm.
there are so many, but I'm hoping that this will also lead to new designers on the carpet. The problem is that the
Yeah.
Met Gala is very corporate. So
Hmm.
usually you aren't going to see a designer unless there's like the designers that you see is because they pay for tables.
Right.
Tables,
Yeah.
I think for this event are like a half a mil. Something crazy.
You know whose style I do love and I think that could really rock this is Victor Grimaud. And
Mm-hmm.
he has, of course, he dwells and lives in a lot of color.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not exactly sure about his tailoring, but I like his use of color is fantastic. And then, and I would love to see him work with like Oswald Boateng
Oh
because,
yes.
of course, he's got that tailoring,
Yeah.
but he has more of like a bespoke style and
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see like a combination between these two and them develop something that is giving like almost like and I know that Oswald Boateng is more British tailoring, but I would love to
It's
see
still the
what they could
same.
do together.
It's
Yeah.
still like there's still like that element there. I think also there are a lot of fashion movements happening in Africa, especially the Congo and Sudan, focusing on this like fashion for resistance in this like dressing to the
Fashion for
nines, and it's
resistance. Yes.
really like showing dandyism, but on the continent. So I think that
Hmm.
there are so many different options that people can really dive into. One of the things that I learned about and I need to go back to really get all the facts about it around it right. But I want to say it was in the Congo, where for a while there are those who really dress in like issey miyake, like very much
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
that style, because for a while there, um, they were not that was not allowed, but
Hmm.
as a form of resistance, there was some artisans who started to really focus on that. And it really started becoming like a counterculture in that country. Um,
Yeah,
there's so much here, and there's so much to celebrate, and there's so much
there
that can
is.
be visible if
Yeah.
that I'm excited about, that I'm excited
Yeah.
about. So honestly, like, look, if let us know, would y'all be interested in doing a book club without this book as we get into
Oh,
as
yes.
we head up to the Met Gala, so that we can have a better understanding of Black dandyism, but then also make it a challenge. Like
Yes. Because
how do you
I was,
want
but
to tap
I
into
live
it?
for a challenge. Okay.
How are we
I live
tapping
for
into
a
Black
challenge.
dandyism?
I
And this
definitely
means
feel like Julian needs to put together a challenge for us.
and look, I might have to. I might even have to get some patterns to go with it.
Mm.
Did
And
I just
might have to.
did I just say? I mean, at least a waistcoat or two, some
All
options.
I'm saying is that we can parking lot that conversation. We talk about that offline. Because I've got some ideas brewing for you as well. Um,
Because that would be lovely and great, and stepping into my vintage, but also,
yeah.
Pat, I'm just dropping everything excited. Um, like, yes,
But
yes,
you know what? I feel like I think that I'm really excited about this because I feel like right now, and don't get me wrong, because like, even reviewing the fashions from, New York Fashion Week this
mm-hmm,
year, like there were definitely some runway shows that got me excited. For example, like Chloe's runway show. I loved the whimsical nature of it, and
mm-hmm,
her play on texture as well as like transparency in her clothing, right? Ooh, that looks so good.
mm-hmm,
Oh.
mm-hmm,
Um, so that's exciting to me, but I feel like it's I feel like men at plus size bodies, as well as differently abled people, always
mm-hmm.
get the short end of the stick when it comes time for fashion, right?
Right,
Um, even speaking of New York Fashion Week, when we talk about representation of plus size bodies on in like New York Fashion Week, 0.8% of the models were size 14 and above. 0.8% of all of the models,
that's
right?
nothing. Right.
So, and like, I don't even want to talk about the men or what's new for men or like what, you know what I'm saying? So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like this right here is just so exciting. And I feel like I've said this on the podcast before that like people really talk about how exciting like sewing for women or women's fashion is, or even kids' fashion, little girls' fashion. And I feel like men's fashion and little boy fashion gets shitted on. And if I'm being completely honest, I really love like making things for my son and my husband. but
Hmm.
it's so hard to find things that are new and cutting edge, which of course is why I always love it when you've got a new pattern out with Nomi, because I feel like you really are doing things differently. Like you are not coming out with like, a standard turtleneck or a standard sweater or a standard jacket. Like you've got pants that are giving something that is different, whether it is, the asymmetry, whether it is the high waist, whether it is the wide leg, whether it is the pin tuck, like you're giving us the details, which is why I do get really, really excited about your designs coming out. So, I'm like super geeked to see even what is like brewing in your mind as far as possibly what patterns you feel like need to be dropped before May of 2025.
Oh no, this would be well before May. I gotta give y'all time to make them.
Got to give us the time because please believe your girl is going to be in some black girl dandyism. Okay.
But I mean, I think, just like even my version of a Gurkha trouser or a Gurkha jean,
Mm-hmm.
lovely. Um, but a waist like a good double-breasted,
Mm.
like real low cut waistcoat. Or even like how can we make this more into like an integrated trouser waistcoat, like just double-breasted at the top here with some straps, kind of giving very much like suspenders and
Oh, come
pants
on,
all
suspenders.
together.
Listen,
We
a
got
man
to
with a fresh haircut, some suspenders, a
look,
well-tailored suit.
look, and
Listen,
a good smell good that is like
a
that is ain't
good
oh
smell good.
that ain't
Mm.
overpowering, but just you could tell they walk through it. They ain't like just because I
And
love
properly layered, starting with the soap, because we like to use
look,
soap.
praise the Lord.
Okay.
Praise the Lord. And then
Starting
oil.
with the proper scrub with the washcloth and the soap before
And
moving
then
on to the lotion.
yes, or oil, yes. Or
And
actually both. And then little baby oil. And then they
and so then when you take off the jacket and you put it on my shoulders and then I just smell you like on me like thank you for leaving that present for me. Like yes.
and it's a scent that and if they're good enough, you know that it is not a scent that you can buy at a store.
You
It is
can't buy
scent
it at a store.
that you have
First of all,
layered
I like an
together.
oil,
Look,
okay?
did you get from the Africans? Yes.
That you give
Yes.
because that's
Yes.
what I like, okay?
Yes. But it don't smell African. I mean,
Right.
it's still got a little bit of musk, but you add the other things to a
You
little
add the
ooh,
other things to it to lighten it
and then
up and give it
and then
a
sometimes you
je
put
ne
a
sais
little scent on top of it just to
quoi.
seal it all
Hmm.
together. Child, yes.
And then whatever pomade, sometimes that those pomades, some hair pomades, they be pomading. And I'd be like, what
They
you got in
do.
your hair? Like,
They do. They do. They do. A little mango
mm,
butter or something. Yes.
a-
Yes.
that mango
Yes.
butter will get you right. A little mango avocado butter. Mm-hmm.
Will get you right or get you wrong depending on who's doing it.
Oop,
I'm
oop.
just saying. I'm just saying. The Lord loves it.
And does. That's why he gave us access to it.
Ooh,
He said, I would like for you to use the butters and the oils. Okay.
be fruitful. Yes.
Be
And
fruitful.
know how to. Yes, Lord. Yes,
He
Lord.
said, plant the seed, crack the seed, use the seed. Okay.
And if you do it right, I'll let you crack somebody else like a seed
Okay. There it
or like a
is.
crab leg. Hallelujah.
Mm-hmm. Eva
Crack them,
Shandalo.
crack them open. Any hoodles. Any hoodles, y'all. Y'all, this is what happens at 10 o'clock at night when we record. Help us, Holy Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
I feel like they can always tell when we record at night versus in the daytime because the daytime be so clean. We be so
well,
nice, so nice, so
yes.
together, so professional. We got couth.
And then we
In the
just,
evening, we be just like, you should listen to us in the evening. I don't know.
I mean, look, Jesus. But yes, I think I'm super like this is like a just an injection of creativity that I needed. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm really excited for it. I'm really excited just to even do my own studying of it, to
Yeah.
do it for myself and to learn. And you know what? And I'm like, and today I was thinking like I'm manifesting. I want to go. Not only to exhibit, I want to go to the gala.
I
So
say talk about it.
somebody's going to invite me to the gala. I'm going to
Yes.
make my outfit. Even if
Yes.
I'm the correspondent, I'm going to get to go. And because it's one of them events you can't take pictures in, but I'm going to have all the mental pictures I need.
All of the mental pictures that you need.
And but either way, I'm going to go see this exhibit next year.
When are we
I must
going?
go. I must go. Even if it means that I got to get on a red eye early in the morning to go to New York, to go to this exhibit, and then get my ass back on a flight to come home.
I mean, I could dig it. I could get behind it.
I'm going. I am going to the Met. I'm going to see this. And I'm going to be dressed to the nines when I do.
Oh my God, can we have coordinating outfits?
Come on, look.
You
We
know
are
we
going,
both like color and patterns.
look, and it's going to be that. It's going to be that. It's going to be that. It's going to give vintage. It's going to give everything that is needed.
Oh man, and then we could do like a photo shoot downtown.
look,
I wonder
I'm
if we could really turn this into a challenge and then make it like a group event type of thing.
like a meetup.
Possibly. Yeah,
I mean, a meetup will have to happen. I would want to
I'd be
see if
like,
I can get like Dandy Wellington involved with it
oh, that would be fantastic.
because I would love to meet him too. I mean, I've
I
talked
know.
with him and stuff like that, but I would like this would be great.
Oh,
And
I've
there's some
talked with him
other.
and stuff like that.
I took a class
Sorry, I
from
didn't
him.
mean to. Oh, I took a classroom. Sorry, I didn't mean to mock you in real life. JK, JK, JK. I
And
did,
okay, you did, I know.
obviously.
And I'm going. I just let it roll off my back. But yeah, there's so much here, and I'm excited about
Yeah,
it. I
I
need
am.
to figure
You
out
know what? It makes me feel happy that you are excited about it because I know that, like, I know that that men get so much. They just get treated like the redheaded stepchildren, and
sometimes.
so
Yep,
it's hard to get excited about so many things when there's just lack. So
that
I
part.
love this. I love that there is something that is exciting for you.
And and again, it's needed. It's needed.
Yeah,
I'm excited. It's fulfilling. It's filling the soul,
yeah.
and because it's filling my soul, we are going to. I'm just going. Yes, yes. It's just. I'm just excited. Listen, this excited. As I continue to sew this, y'all, this jacket. I'm excited for this jacket too because
This jacket is so flawless.
it's just a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's like, and I mean, and I do a lot, but I've been holding this fabric, and I'm like, oh, this is even more than I thought. Um, like, and then also too, I found some patterns that I can now fit into. I got to show you these. So these were sent to me from a store in California, and I met them in person at Bernini University. They had sent them to me because they had this old of a gentleman who not old, but just seasoned gentleman who had stopped sewing and had these patterns that he had used. They
Ladies
were
and
all
gentlemen.
Vogue Paris originals from the
What?
70s. So I got to show you because, and then I just rediscovered them, and they're in my size.
That is like the best feeling.
So we have 70s Yves Saint Laurent,
Hmm. Hmm.
which
Hmm.
is like a 70s wide leg pant and a safari
Like
jacket.
safari jacket. Yes.
I was thinking, imagine that in Ankara. Okay. This one
Fire.
is slightly, it's a size bigger, but I still might do it. This one is Valentino.
Wow. Look at those
So the
pants.
pants and the coat, and it's suitable for double knits. So I like
Wow.
the details of the collar and stuff of this
That
coat. So
jacket.
it is a double-breasted coat, but it also has a belt and everything to it. And again, it is suitable for double knits or a corduroy. Can you imagine this in corduroy? Actually,
That jacket and corduroy it would be so fire.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But then also I have this one. So this one, I like the pants on this one. This one is in my size. It basically is the same, but it's a single-breasted jacket.
Hmm.
But it has beautiful pleats in the pants.
Don't worry, guys. I'm gonna have Julian send me pictures of these so that I can post them on our Instagram.
And it is also Valentino from the 70s.
Bobby Valentino.
And but I already know the corduroy. The corduroy I just did Brandon's pants in that
Mm-hmm.
green.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine a green suit
Mm-hmm.
for for the fall season for my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
For your birthday.
after the jacket or after this fashion show, this might be what we start on next, just because it's giving fabulous in the best way
It is
possible.
giving it's giving elevated.
It is. It is.
Mm-hmm.
With a turtleneck, a simple turtleneck, and
A nice clean turtleneck.
it will give me what I need. It will really
Yeah.
give me what I need. So
Yeah.
I will send them over, so we will definitely include them, so that y'all can see these patterns as well. But y'all, I think I'm excited for the season. I'm excited for the season. I think this I don't know what's going on with the world. Mercury's in getting his mani petty, is in micro braids, is getting a roller wrap. I don't know what's happening. It's getting a
Listen,
Brazilian.
doing something. It's funny because I was talking to Kalima today because she got in the
Hmm.
car and she was cranky AF.
Oh
And
Jesus.
if I'm being completely honest, so was I. But not for
Uh-oh.
any particular reason. But
Right.
sometimes because Mercury be out there Mercurying,
Right.
retrograding, doing whatever she do, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you forget to like, I don't know, like exist. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or you forget what like normal existence is. I was trying to log into my accounts, my thepattern.com and I use Pattern and CoStar
Mm.
because I would need to see where these,
Where everything is. But then also when you got
oh, Jupiter retrograde. On October 9th, Jupiter is in retrograde. It's been in Gemini since May 25th and will stay there until June 9th, 2025.
Jesus.
Jupiter in Gemini is here to free you. So if you lost that part of yourself, how do you find it? Where are you trapped in your life, mentally, emotionally, or literally? Well,
I ain't need to tell all my business like that
right.
because that's not fair.
Yeah, I mean it was a little rude, you know what I mean? But
Hmm.
I'm definitely gonna think about some things. Because it's funny because like I have been feeling like a little off kilter, like not enough. Like I just posted today on the Aaronica Be Cole Instagram account. Like I'm feeling a little angsty,
Well, I've been
but
feeling
for no
that.
reason.
Like, life has just been just stupid, just been dumb. And I don't know why it's dumb, you know? And then you sitting here trying to figure out, like, okay, God, help me,
Yeah.
Holy Ghost, before we go Sinead O'Connell or something like that, and just and you if y'all see me out here on the interwebs, bald headed, doing some bald headed
Mhm.
hoe shit, y'all better not ask no questions. That's all I'm telling you. Don't ask me nothing. Y'all
I'm
hear
gonna
me?
be like, how much tip did you get? You know what I'm saying?
Don't ask nothing. Don't ask me
I
no
ask the important
questions.
questions.
Because I mean, but it literally like I don't know, like just life is about to have me out here doing some strange things for some strange things for no reason. But
Well, we do have a reason because now we got to get ourselves together for to
New
be
York,
in New York. So
New York.
we got a reason now.
I mean, yes, but then also I like this might be the theme. This might be my theme for next year, or for just like it's almost it's like it's giving me permission just to be
Hmm.
extra. And because for a long time, like people always talked about how I can be a lot in extra,
Are
and
you
I feel
serious?
like this, yeah, yeah.
I feel
Um,
like that is so funny.
so this is and like especially in how I dress. Um, this is it's an excuse, like just to be everything I want to be. So
I don't
I'm
know.
really, yeah,
What's her
I'm
name
excited.
said, I would rather be overdressed than underdressed in any occasion. And I feel like that's very valid, right? Why be
It
basic when
is.
you could be extra?
I mean, look, yes, Yes, all the time. And that's real.
Yeah. I mean, and I feel like that sometimes too, because like even today, and I know that people can't exactly see me, but I definitely have on like my Friday pattern saguaro shirt and I'm giving titties. So you're welcome to anyone who saw me today. But it's October, it's breast cancer awareness month, and I had to go get my breast tissue checked today. Um, and so you know what? I was like, I'm gonna get dressed up for the occasion because I'm here. I am breast
Hmm.
cancer free still. And I'm celebrating. I would rather be, and at first I was like, I'm just gonna throw on some leggings and a sports bra and like my emotional support sweater. Judge
Right.
someone else because I have an emotional support sweater.
And that's
But then
fine.
I was like, you know what? I am gonna get dressed. I am gonna dress up and I'm gonna do it for me because I want to. You know what I'm saying? So I highly encourage and fully enable you to continue to be extra. Like be your extra self because on people's deathbeds, I literally don't think that anyone has ever been like, "Oh man, I wish I'd been less extra in life." You know what I'm saying? Like I
That
wish I wouldn't have lived in my truth as much. I don't think that
that
people
part.
say that.
Very true. Very
I
true.
would much rather be on my deathbed or sharing stories with my grandchildren should my kids decide to have kids and talk to them about how, grandma was out there living her best life. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
As opposed to
They
doing the shoulda, coulda, wouldas.
they get us nowhere. They get us
It
nowhere.
doesn't.
Get us
Especially
literally
when
nowhere.
every single day we have a choice. We get to wake up and decide who we want to be and how we want to look that day. And that is such a privilege to be able to do that, right? It's
Hmm.
funny because I stand for a field trip. And
Yes.
so I was chaperoning a field trip this week. And of course, the kids are like, "How old are you?" And so they start guessing. They're like 10, 13. And I'm like, "Nope, a little bit older." And somebody was like, "Are you sure that you want to share your age?" And I'm like, "Listen, it's a privilege to make it to 41. And I don't take that lightly. And so I feel like every day that I get to wake up, it's up to me to make a choice to live as opposed to just be alive. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Some days I succeed and it's easier than others, but choosing what to wear is a big part of that and celebrating who I am as a person and celebrating being alive. Like why wear things that don't make me feel amazing? Just to appease or make myself seem smaller to help someone else be able to kind of put me in whatever compartment they would like to. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Right.
Like, no,
Listen,
Julian, you deserve to live out loud just like everybody else does, and you should.
I should, but should and doing doesn't always
That's fine.
align.
Just replay this episode right for you when you need your pep talk.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. But yeah, I'm right now. The infusion that I needed is what I got, and I'm
Yeah,
excited. So I am taking this in. I'm taking this energy into my week. Tomorrow. So y'all are hearing this on Friday. So if you are in the Cincinnati area, the Original Sewing and Quilt Expo is happening. Um, Definitely coming by and see me if you're coming. I will be there um Thursday, Friday at the Kramer Sewing Back booth. Which is my local dealer. But I will also be doing a present, like doing some demos on the main stage on Saturday as well. So, um, I think at 10:15 and at like 1:30 on Saturday. So feel free to come by and say hey, howdy do.
definitely make sure that you check him out as he will be talking about the new Bernina.
Yes, the
Um,
990.
Yes, which is giving us all of the extra bells and whistles that also come along with Julian. So make sure that you check both of them out.
Yes, absolutely. And if you have any questions or anything like that, hopefully, coming here soon, we will definitely be having a representative from Bernina to talk about the launch of this new machine and some of the great features on it. So, start getting your questions together around
Yeah.
any questions or any burning questions that you might have about Bernina and their machines.
Yes, that'll be fantastic. Also for me, this Saturday, I am teaching how to make adjustments to your projector pattern pieces. And today, as I was prepping for that, I did go ahead and essentially put all of my ME 2015 pattern pieces into custom made pieces for my body.
Come
because
on.
I went ahead and graded them as well as made the adjustments so that there was a full booty adjustment for my backyard. I did make sure that I graded because my hips are now 3 sizes smaller. I mean, larger than my waist. And we won't even
Okay.
get into busts because the inches are falling off, as well as we're hoping and praying that the labs will be following behind, you know.
Praise the Lord.
Um,
Yes, 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 yes.
and then next week actually kicks off my 7 day style challenge, and I'm super excited about it. It
Come
is a
on, 7 days.
free challenge. Um, and I'm excited about it because people often ask me, oh, well, can you tell us a little bit more about your style? What's your style inspiration? Who is your style inspiration? And I don't really have like just one person because a lot of it is me, and
Hmm.
what feels good. And I
Right.
think that that's where other people should be. So during this 7 day style challenge, we will be, deep diving into how you get dressed and how it makes you feel as you're getting dressed. So I'm excited about that.
I love it. I love it. So, y'all, we want to know, what are you excited about? Is there
Hmm.
anything that is giving you inspiration right now that is really just kind of lighting your fires and stoking your coal? Let us know. And that's it for us this week. We are really excited. It is now 10:30, and I know it's her bedtime, and shoot, I gotta act like I gotta go do something tomorrow my damn self. So, y'all, we hope that you're having an okay week. If you are in Florida or anywhere near where Milton might hit or anything like that, we are definitely keeping you in thoughts and prayers. If you are in um Tennessee and North Carolina and stuff like that, we are also still keeping you in prayer as you are dealing with recovery and cleanup. We understand that this is lives have been changed for probably generations. So we definitely keep you in prayer as you deal with that and work through that and all that it comes with. But we hope that you can find inspiration even in the small things, even if it is in the doodle bug down the street that you see flying on something. Find inspiration in it. Find a moment of joy. Find something that's going to spark joy in your heart. And until next time, y'all, stay audacious and stay creative.
Bye.